Hello and welcome back to the Satoshi Society YouTube channel. My name is AJ, one of the co-hosts here, and today we've got a slightly earlier one because today I am going to be traveling, so I won't be able to do the normal live, but I want to be here and update you with what I think is going to happen within the markets. And as I'm sure you're aware, Bitcoin is still having, a nice push towards the upside, but, initially we still have those bearish signs there as well. And we have more bearish signs coming in as well. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk also about the possible bullish scenario, if there is going to be one. So we will see. But before jumping into the video, please make sure you smash a like on this video. I would really appreciate it. It does really help me out, helps the channel out, and it's free as well. So please make sure you smash that like button, and we will jump straight on into the video. So looking at the price of Bitcoin then, looking at it on this 12-hour chart, we can see that Bitcoin is actually struggling to get above its previous high. So the previous high that it made on the 5th of November, okay, we're struggling to get above that. As you can see, we have this horizontal level at that previous high. And you can see we've tested this level twice. However, we have been rejected from it twice. One of those being, very early this morning, testing this, having a slight rejection from it as of right now, but we'll have to see whether or not we are going to break above this. But initially, this is proving to me to be a very strong resistance. If we can get above it, great. We could use it as support, and then we can look at the price coming up to potentially $22,800. That would be the next target. That's the next previous high, as you can see up there. So that would be the next target I have if we can break this high right here. However, what I'm looking at right now is a lot of bearish signs. Okay, if you've been following the channel, you will know that I have been looking at this bigger bearish divergence. So we can see it on the daily, and we can also see it on the 12-hour. But because it's the higher the time frame, the stronger the tools are, I'm going to look at it on the daily. But what we're seeing here is we are seeing Bitcoin form ever so slightly a low. As you can see here, we haven't taken out this high here, as in a candle break above this previous candle break here. So technically, we could still potentially form a bearish divergence with lower lows on the price action charts, and then coming over to the RSI, we can see we're forming higher highs. Okay, and the RSI is very overextended. So those are just some bearish signs. And coming in confluence with that, obviously, this horizontal level here getting rejected from that horizontal level. So there are a few bearish signs telling me that, we are going to see a potential pullback from here. And it's not even on the bigger time frames as well. Okay, let's come down into the, say the 4-hour. Okay, on the 4-hour, what can we see? Okay, with this sort of second pump that we're seeing right now, back above 21,000, what we can see is we are forming higher highs on the price action charts, but we're forming lower lows on the RSI. Okay, this is a hidden bearish divergence. Okay, so it's looking as though we are going to get that pullback, and I think this pullback is needed, even if this is just a small pullback to continue that push towards the upside. A pullback is needed. Okay, right now we don't know whether this pullback is going to take us back down to potentially 16,000, maybe even 15,000. We'll have to see. Or this could just be a small little pullback. We find support, and then we continue this push towards the upside. And then, we can look at potentially being within that bull market. That is what we could be looking at. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it this week. And keep an eye on what the price is doing, because there is a lot of support below us. There was this major cluster of resistance here, which obviously we've broken above it, so we're now going to use that as support. So between sort of $17,800 and $18,500, we have a lot of support there. So maybe we could pull back to this area here, and then we could bounce off that area and continue this bullish price action towards the upside. We will have to see. However, if we do break this, then we could be looking at the price coming down to $16,500, then maybe even $15,450. So if we were to have that pullback, then we would like to see the price hold this support level here if we want to see the price continue towards the upside. Now, I'm still not pushing it off the table. The targets I do have, 14,000, 12,000, even 10,000 as well, potentially. I still think there's a possibility. Of course, those targets may not be hit. I could hold my hands up and say that I was wrong, but I still think that those are possible targets for this bear market, okay? And to invalidate those targets for me, yesterday, yesterday, we broke above this major level right here, which is very bullish. Okay, we've broken back above this major level that we broke towards the downside of, and if we can hold this major level, as in we potentially retest it, okay, bounce off this level, and then see the price come much higher, then we can start looking at the bear market being over and that bull market starting once again. However, if the price cannot hold this major level, if it does retest it, then I would expect the price to come down pretty quickly to 14,000, maybe even 12,000, and then potentially even 10,000 as well. So we do just still have to be aware of that. Yes, we have seen this bullish sign here that we've broken a major level. This major level is a previous high from 2017. We used it back in December after the break towards the upside. We used it as slight support and had a nice bounce. Throughout the whole of 2022, we did use it as major support after we did break towards the downside. So hopefully, now that we've broken back above it, we can then start using it as support again, and then we can bounce towards the upside. However, I just want to warn you, if we do break this, then it's going to be pretty likely that we are going to see the price have that last capitulation event down to 14,000. 12,000, maybe even 10,000 as well. So we do just have to be aware of that. I would like to see a bit more volume on this break towards the upside. Yes, we've had a little spike. I know it's hard to see down there, as you can see here. Yes, we've had a little spike of volume, but I want to see something like this bearish volume here. I want to see a nice big green candle, just as big as this this candle right here. That would be really nice to see. And then I can sort of be happy that the price is most likely going to stay above this resistance level. If we don't continue to bring that volume in, then it could possibly turn into a fake out. So we do just have to be aware of that as well. And then of course, I talked about this last week. World Bank warns of global recession in 2023. Got to be careful of that, because if we are going to go into a recession, then not looking good for the traditional market, which will then lead into the crypto market as well. So, we could see 14, 12, even 10,000. So we've got to be aware of that. Again, Goldman Sachs laying off 3,200 employees. So got to be aware of that as well. What do they know that we don't? Why are they, preparing for sort of another crypto winter? We just got to be aware of this recession. There's signs that we're going into a recession. I've shown this multiple times over last week. The 10-year. So if you invest your money for 10 years or 2 years, you would expect to get more money back if you invested for 10 years rather than 2 years. However, right now, if you invested for 2 years, you would get a higher yield than you would if you invested for 10 years. Okay, so the 2-year yield right now on the government bonds, the US government bonds, is 4.238. Okay, if we come to the 10-year, it's 3.507. Okay, so the 2-year has exceeded the 10-year yield. Okay, I've got a chart to show you right here. Okay, every time we've seen the orange line go below this black line here into the minuses, this has been when the 2-year exceeds the 10-year yield. So this is the 2 and 10-year yield curve inversion. This is when the 2-year exceeds the 10-year. And when that happens, we see this orange line go below this black line, okay, into the minuses. And these represent here, these gray bars here represent a recession. Okay, and every time we've seen the 2-year exceed the 10-year, we've led into a recession shortly after. So right here, 1979, okay, we went into the minuses, the 2-year exceeded the 10-year, recession. Okay, 1982 roughly, same thing happened. 1991, 2002, 2003, same thing. 2007, 2008, exactly the same thing. Every time the 2-year exceeds the 10-year, we are led into a recession. Now, obviously, this is outdated because it's 2018, but what we have seen is that the 2-year has exceeded the 10-year. Okay, we can see that very clearly here. The 2-year is 4.238 and the 10-year is 3.507. So we've got to be aware of that. That is not going to be good for the markets. And another thing that I'm looking at as well is The ES, okay, the ES, if you don't know what it is, it's the S&P 500 E-mini futures, so pretty much just the S&P 500, yeah, just the futures version of it. Now, what we're looking at here is we're looking at this downtrending white line here. You know, if you've been following the channel, you will understand this. You know, we've tested this level pretty much to the dollar over the course of 2021. Okay, sorry, 2022. Okay, pretty much tested it multiple times to the dollar in 2022, and we are actually seeing a slight rejection from it. Okay, we're testing it, but we're seeing a slight rejection from it. If we do get rejected from this, then we could see another leg down for the S&P. If we see another leg down for the S&P, we're most likely going to see Bitcoin follow that as well. So we do just have to be very aware of that. If we can break above this, then that's great. You know, we haven't been above this in over a year. Okay, if we could get above this, yeah, use it as support. Okay, bounce off it, break these major resistance levels here, and continue towards the upside. You know, great. Okay, we can start seeing Bitcoin have some really nice bullish momentum towards the upside. But as of right now, it looks as though today we could actually get rejected from here. And then if we see the reaction, as in, you know, we see a continued rejection from here, then, you know, it's not really going to look very good at all. So we do just have to be very aware of that. And then let's bring up the DXY quickly as well. DXY has hit the target that I gave you. Okay, so last week I did say, you know, the DXY broke below this major support here, flipped it into resistance. Okay, got rejected from there. Okay, where was I looking for the DXY to come to? Well, this previous low right here, as we can see. And as you can see right there, we are finding support off it right now. So the DXY is going to find support at this major level here. Then that is not going to be good for the crypto markets either, because, you know, recently, not as such, but we tend to see the DXY and Bitcoin be very inversely correlated. So when Bitcoin goes up, okay, the DXY is going down. When the DXY goes up, Bitcoin goes down. Okay, so you know, there was a little time where the DXY went down, but also Bitcoin went down as well. So I wasn't really looking at the DXY for my Bitcoin analysis, but now we are seeing the inverse correlation again. So we've seen the DXY go down, but we've seen Bitcoin go up. Okay, so for me, I believe that they are now inversely correlated again. And, you know, if we're going to hold support here and we are going to have a bounce, then we're most likely going to see Bitcoin have that pullback as well. Okay, so these are two more signs, you know, ES potentially getting rejected from here, and then the DXY potentially finding support here and bouncing towards the upside. So we just got to be aware of that as well. That is not going to be good for crypto. And as you can see, you know, we're having a slight pullback as of right now. But, you know, I would expect a bigger pullback coming and looking at the 12-hour and even the daily as well. We still have this massive bearish divergence. So just got to be aware of that. RSI is massively oversold. So, you know, a pullback is really needed right now. So we do just have to be aware of that. So how much time have I got left? Well, I've got 2 minutes left. So let's have a quick look at Ethereum. Right, so Ethereum, exact same thing, right? We've got this previous sort of resistance level here, right? We've tested it to the dollar there, got a rejection from it, okay? What else are we looking at? Well, we're looking at Bitcoin. Ethereum is going to be following Bitcoin very closely in these hard times. So we know that Bitcoin is looking like it's going to pull back. So Ethereum is most likely going to pull back as well. But also the telltale signs are bearish divergence. Okay, so we have lower lows on the price action chart, and then very clear higher highs on the RSI, and a very overextended RSI as well. So Ethereum for me is looking prime for a pullback as well. So we do just have to be very cautious. If you are thinking about, you know, buying, you know, if you're thinking about buying now, you're only FOMOing in. Okay, just wait for that pullback, wait for support, then you can potentially start buying back in. But for me, you know, with the recession looming as well, I'm still cautious that Bitcoin could go down to 14,000, potentially 12,000, maybe even a wick down to 10,000. So we've got to be very careful about that as well. So yeah, I think that's all I've got for you. I need to leave in about 1 minute. So yeah, I've cut it quite close. But yeah, Crippy, good to see you back here. Good show, bud. I'm expecting a small correction from now before another push up, then a larger correction. Yeah, you know, we do have a lot of support below us, to be fair. So yeah, a smaller pullback, then a bounce could be likely, and then potentially even a bigger correction. That's something that we could see. For me, you know, I'm expecting a pullback now, then potentially have a bounce. We'll have to see how that how we react to that support. If we get a lot of volume coming in, then we could actually see the price continue even higher than $21,500, which it almost came up to. Could see 22,800 potentially. Or, as you said, we could see lower as well. So we do just have to be very, very aware of that. But of course, I'm going to keep you updated on my thoughts and everything. But yeah, right now I am just expecting that slight pullback. Now, I will be traveling today, but if anything happens within the charts, I will come live later on today. So it'll be around, maybe 1-2 o'clock UK time. If anything does happen whilst I'm traveling, I will, I will come live around then. Hopefully, I'll be somewhere where I can come live by that time. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did enjoy it, please make sure you smash that like button. And yeah, I will see you later on today. If not later on today, then tomorrow for the normal live stream. So thank you very much for watching. Smash that like button if you're new, subscribe, turn that bell notification on, and I will see you later. Thank you very much, guys.